be making some water kefir with Angela's Wild Kitchen. I am Ethan Stafford, but you can call me Dr. Ethan. This is water kefir grains. This is what is used to make water kefir. Although people call them grains, we've been lied to. These aren't actually grains. They're clusters of bacteria and yeast that form a crystalline structure that feels like jelly. These grains need to be fed. So we keep them in a bottle of sugar water. The sugar provides nutrients for these, or other minerals. Now, the reason that, if you've ever had kefir, the reason that it's fizzy is because, well, these grains are farting. They release carbon dioxide when they take in sugar, which makes them fart. So, nobody really knows where these grains came from. Some theorize that they came from a faraway land known as Mexico. They think that they found them on the pads of a cactus, and the Mexicans went, why don't we put this in sugar water, and then we'll activate it. Now, two important things to note with your water kefir is that, one, your water kefir needs good quality sugar, because it needs a lot of minerals, as I mentioned before, needy thing. So now with this sugar, unrefined cane sugar, or Rapidura sugar as it's called, it is normal sugar, normal white sugar with the molasses left in it. If you can't use Rapidura sugar or unrefined cane sugar, then you will just have to add molasses to your water kefir at the rate of 1 teaspoon per litre. So now, let's get on with the making of our water kefir. Hi, we're back, and now we're going to be making the kefir. First stage of fermentation, by the way. So, I have my big glass jar right here, and I have 1 cup of sugar. Now, what we have to do is pour the sugar in the big glass jar, like this, and then we are going to have this boiled water here. We have to make 2 cups of it. So, 1 cup, 1. So, 2 cups in with the sugar, which should dissolve the sugar. But for extra measure, we are going to be stirring it. So now I'm going to be stirring it with this piece of silicone frying pan thing, and just to make sure that it's dissolved. Now you don't want to be using anything metal with your kefir because the kefir doesn't like metal. I don't know why. So once you feel that your sugar has dissolved in the kefir, in the water, then you can take it out and add your 2 litres of water. Well, sorry, one and a half. So just pour it in. Like so. Or that your water and sugar is at room temperature before you put your kefir grains in, because that means that if it's higher than room temperature, the kefir will die. So I'm just going to put my clean finger in here just to test. And yes, it's it is room temperature. So what I'm going to do now is going to get kefir. One last look at it, and plop, plop. Okay, I'm gonna put more in at a time. Plop, 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 plop. It's making the water level rise quite a bit. So there we have it. We have made our mixture. Okay, so the time can vary for the amount of time that it's actually going to be fermenting. So it all depends on, you know, the weather and that stuff. So it's approximately around 2 days, but it can be more or less. But the way that you'll know is there's a fine layer of bubbles along the top of the kefir. So what you want to do is you want to leave the lid. No, you don't want to screw it on, because then your kefir won't be able to breathe. You heard me, breathe. It's like this thing's alive. Odd. So as you have it here, it's not completely screwed on, air's able to flow through, and now we're going to wait 2 days. See you in 2 days.
Yeah.
Hello, and it has been 2 days since we last recorded a video, and now I'm back. And we've just waited for the kefir to ferment. Now I'll give you a close-up shot of what it really looks like. Now, as you can see, there's lots of nice bubbles forming on the top of the kefir. This is the result of those grains farting. Now, let's go back and start making the rest of the kefir. Okay, now we're going to be making our water kefir with our flavouring. So, first you need to strain your water kefir into a plastic strainer, remembering that kefir doesn't like metal. Now, we don't actually have a plastic strainer, so we used a Thermomix straining basket. So I'll just go ahead and do it now. You gotta love the noises of this plopping into the strainer. Plop. So once you've finished doing this, you need to take your basket, your straining basket, which should be now filled with the water kefir grains, as shown here, and just place it onto a nearby plate, or a bowl if you have one. So now, as you can see, we have all of our water kefir grains in this, ready to be put back into more sugar water. So now what we have to do is, before we add the flavouring, we need to put them into bowls. So from here you just pour it in. Now you need to remember, oh jeez, whoops. You need to remember, while you're doing this, to leave a space, a little bit for the flavouring, and then the rest of it for the gas. Now, about the gas, you need to make sure that you leave room for it, because the gas expands as it ferments, and you don't want the bottle exploding. It's not very good. We woke up in the middle of the night to a bottle exploding once. Whew, what a night. Okay, so, now the floor's wet. We'll clean it up later. Now, continue with your pouring process. I'm getting better at this. Maybe not. Okay, continue on with the next bottle. Slowly. And I'll just add a little bit more to this. Here we have it. 3 bottles of kefir. Now, I'll be back in a sec with this all cleaned up. Now that we have a clean workspace, we can now start with the flavouring of the water kefir. So, today we're going to be making apple and mint and ginger. So we'll make 1 thing of apple and mint. So you want to put around a quarter of a cup into one of these bottles for the apple and mint. So I'll just do that now. So, okay, so now we have a tablespoon in which we're going to pour in some ginger juice. Oh, yummy. And right now we're going to be pouring it into both of these bottles, so a tablespoon for each. This should make a nice and gingery drink that kind of tastes a little bit like ginger beer. So you can have a healthy soft drink. So now I'm just going to put the lids onto the bottles. Now remember to screw them on very tightly. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Whew. Now we have our lids on. And the reason that you need to screw these lids on very tightly is because you need to allow the gas to expand inside them. So now we're going to wait 24 hours and we'll have a refreshing cold drink. So what you want to do is you want to leave these in the pantry only for 24 hours and then you can stick them in the fridge ready to drink. Hello, we're back after another day. And during that day we have been fermenting this water kefir with our flavour. Now this bottle is the apple and mint juice. And after we did the second fermentation stage, we put it in the fridge to make it pretty cold, which is going to be good for drinking. And now, as you can see, the juice has formed, some of it's formed around the bottom, a little bit of a sediment, and so because of that, you're just going to need to just turn it gently a couple of times. You don't want to shake it because, as you probably realise, it's a gaseous. I'm now going to invite my brother in, and so that he can, with me, have a try of this delightful drink. So welcome in, Ryan Stafford! Yay! Hello. So there's the gas release. So just putting a little bit into each cup. Looks good. Now take a pick. Delicious. Could have this all day. It's really nice. Very refreshing. Nice and cold. I think that this is a great drink for everybody to make. So tell everyone about how to make this water kefir because it is awesome. Select your finest spoon and I was talking about the sediment thing and then I realised about the coldness and I went, oh no. It messes you up when you realise that you forget something. Are you rolling? Rate of 1 teaspoon per litre. At the rate of 1 litre.